Hi, everybody. It's me, Dr. Stacy Betancourt, with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. This week, I'm going to talk to you about being grateful in maybe as a contrast, gratitude. Okay. So, what does it mean to be grateful? Well, I'm going to kind of go out there and in our kind of cynical world, can we really understand what it means to be grateful? Now, this is not a negative take, so don't think, oh, this is going to be negative, because it's not. What I'm looking at really truly is a genuine interest. And I encourage you to look deeply within yourself on this one. And so I kind of thought about it, and then I went to Google. And I looked at what gratitude meant versus being grateful. And what it suggested is that gratitude is internal, gratification is external. So it's kind of interesting. It also suggested that we needed both in our life in order to have the rich experience. Now, I'm not arguing that point. But what I'm getting at is, what do we need in our life to achieve gratification? What do we need in our life to feel grateful? And, I can't help but associate this idea with what will be happening in thousands of homes around the country later on this week. And there's two things that come to mind. The first is Thanksgiving. We're going to have people in, homes all over celebrating Thanksgiving. And the idea of that is that there's going to either be the traditional, okay, we're going to go around the table and everybody tell one thing that you're grateful for. And, by the time it gets to the last family member, they're like, I will be grateful when we can actually eat. There's always that one. Or within the prayer, the person giving it is going to talk about being having gratitude and being grateful for what they have. And there's nothing wrong with that. In a few hours after that, we're going to have a different take. Some people will literally be fighting for parking places in the mall. Those same people might argue who was actually in line next, who was supposed to have the last video game that two people have their hands on, or the giant screen TV that is on sale for $9. The last toy, the last shopping cart. And, we're going to be short-tempered. Some people are really going to be short-tempered and unkind. And some of these people may have been the same people that just a few hours or earlier proclaimed being grateful for having their family together and a beautiful meal and, a warm place to live and all those simple things, right? And, a few hours later, they're arguing over a $9 flat screen TV. That's the thing, is that how do we go from the simple things to seeking the successful retail experience? And I'm not knocking retailers. I worked in retail for many, many years. I can tell you many horror stories and otherwise. But it's not about that. It really starts with us. And is that thought utopian? Well, maybe. Can we really be grateful? Can we really have an internal gratification? So I'm going to argue against what Google's suggesting. And again, that's just an AI experience. but can we have it within ourselves? And I have to say, in order for us to feel an external gratification, we really have to be grateful within ourselves. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, positive steps. And they don't have to be grand. How about holding the door open for somebody? When you cross in front of someone, say, excuse me. If you need to get by someone, pardon me. Little things. And the interesting part of that is it's very internally psychological. It's also externally psychological to the other person. Now, you may not get all the time a response that you're looking for, but you're not doing it to get that response. You're doing it to make yourself feel better. Because every time you do something that actually brings you some inner joy, inner gratitude, you're actually releasing the happiness hormones. So let's talk about the happiness hormones. Dopamine, serotonin, positive endorphins, and oxytocin. Those are your happiness hormones, and we all have them. And if we learn to do things that create an external gratification, not in obtaining, but of doing for someone else, the likelihood that you're going to release those chemicals becomes more and more, which means you may not need those artificial enhancements to make you feel that way. So there's that. And just for those who are not aware, I am a PhD in advanced studies of human behavior, and I studied the brain. So I'm coming to you with a clinical look at something that I studied and have a PhD to back that up. So I'm just not making this stuff up. But the thing is that, how about letting the person go in front of you in line? Here's a great idea. Buy a toy for a child that won't have Christmas. Participate in a toy drive. Heck, start a toy drive. There's hundreds of children in foster care that may not get what they need. Forget about that, but something that they want. So there's easy steps that you can do, and you're not doing it just to say, look what I did. No, you're doing that to help you feel better, to help shape you into someone that is better. And isn't that what we all really should be striving for? Making ourselves better. When I do these podcasts, these vlogs, I'm not just doing them for all of you. I love that part of it. But I'm also doing them as a reminder to me, because sometimes we forget, even me. So what I'm going to challenge you to do this week is get out there, do something good for others. Yes, do something great for yourself. Do something that brings you gratitude within yourself, helps you to feel grateful and reaffirm the things that you should be grateful for. Take care of each other this week, and always be good to yourself. Always be good to others. Remember, we really don't know what people are going through. And this week, more so than always, remember that. Keep that in mind. We don't know what they're going through. So be kind, be patient. Don't be afraid to say, you know what? Go in line ahead of me. I can wait. And if you need help with that, put on some kind of soothing music in your AirPods or your earbuds, whatever. Do something that will help ground you and keep you centered and remembering what's important. So for this week, wishing you all gratitude, wishing you the very best this week and beyond. This is Dr. Stacey Betancourt with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacey, and I'll be back to you next week. If you have any questions or anything that comes up or any wonderful positive stories, share them in the comments. I would love to read them, and I know others will get a joy from them as well. So take care. Talk to you soon.